Hey, Coach, drafting a kicker usually means that you expect him to be the starter right away. Is that the case with Evan McPherson?
Yeah, I think that's why you put draft picks on these guys like this. Is you expect them to come in and play right away for you, and that's what we fully expect with him.
Coach, when you look at some of the players drafted this year, any of them pop off in terms of you're excited to get them on special teams?
Yeah, well, I'm excited with a lot of guys we've taken. I think they've hit us in some good spots. Whether it's with Osai, we're still not done. We've drafted a lot of big guys so far. I think we've improved the size of our team. So I don't know how many punts that Jackson Carman is going to cover, but Osai will help us. We'll get a shot with Cam Sample too. Like I said, we're not done yet, so we still got several picks left to go. That's what the beauty of day 3 for me is. We have a heck of a lot of picks. I think 7 picks today. So
thank you.
We're not done yet.
Darrin, Evan was pretty much money inside 40 yards in his career, kind of struggled in that 40 to 49 range and made a handful over 50. Is that correctable stuff, that 40 to 49, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think. I mean, if you're, when you look at what he did as a freshman, he was 89% as a freshman. He was 89% as a sophomore. This year was actually the worst year of his career, but he made more longer ones. I think he was asked to attempt more longer ones than what he had those other 2 years. I think those are all correctable things. You got to remember, we're still getting a young guy here. I mean, he's he's a junior who came out early. I went down. This is one of the few pro days that I went to. Is at Florida. He had a fabulous day down there. I think he was 21 to 22, with one miss being from 58, I believe it was. So I mean, he's got a big leg. He's got a lot of positive traits to work with. One of which he's super competitive. I think he rises up in critical spots and tough spots. And you want a kicker obviously to be good in clutch situations, and I think that he'll show that.
Darrin, what did you learn from the 2017 battle with Jake and Randy that you maybe take into this one?
Well, I think that the thing that comes into play there is you can never underestimate the competitiveness of people and how competitive situations make guys rise up. And I think that brings out the best in everybody. I still think that, I know everybody wants to hammer the fact that we didn't keep Jake that year, but even when you look at it statistically, Randy's still done as well, if not better than what Jake has over the course of the same 4-year stretch. And that's not a knock on Jake. I think Jake's still going to have a great career. I still think he's a good kicker, but I think it also speaks to the competitiveness of somebody like what Randy Bullock is. And when you push a veteran player back and you back him into a corner, he's going to come out swinging and he's going to come out fighting. And that was a positive thing for him.
Will there be a kicking competition like that where it just comes down to, hey, what you doing, kid? Or is this McPherson's job to lose?
Well, I think that's something that we'll talk about in the coming days, Jeff. We haven't decided completely on that yet, but I think it's a good conversation for us to have in the coming days. We just haven't had that yet. There's a lot going on up there right now.
Darrin, when you're looking at drafting a kicker in the 5th round with some other positions still on the board, what goes into the conversation of making the decision to pull the trigger that early on a kicker in the 5th as opposed to maybe waiting?
Well, I think that it depends on what what my position evaluations are of that guy and how many guys do I think are draftable and how many guys do I think improve our situation. And there are 32 special teams coaches, and if we're all saying the same thing, it depends on when we pick in that specific round. I've always felt that you have to take a kicker or punter a round higher than what you believe their ability is. And I've always felt that way. I still feel that way. I feel like, too, that when we had our conversations up there, you have your choice between several different players, and one of them, could potentially come in and fight for a backup spot. Or you're talking about drafting a kicker who's potentially your starter, who plays on Sunday and who affects the game, and which one has more value. To me, it's the guy that's going to come in and play and start and do those things. So I think that comes into play there. But like I said before, I think you have to take these guys one round higher. If I believe the guy was a 6th-round talent, I think in all 32 teams in the league believe he's a 6th-round talent. That means for us to have accessibility to him, you got to take him a round higher than that. There are some teams that I've identified that have a need at kicker, some of which had multiple picks in this round. And we felt like that we had to stay out in front of those guys that way, if this is the route we wanted to go, and to try to bring Evan on.
2 more minutes.
Coach, what is his personality like? I've been teammates with kickers that, they're not football guys, and been teammates with kickers that were football guys, and it was just vastly different. What's his big range of personality? What's his like?
So you're saying Jim Breach is not a football guy? Is that
No,
what
I'm saying that's a definite football guy.
what are we getting at? I got to be careful how I word this. My next conversation with Breach may be.
Well, he was definitely a football guy.
No, I know he is. I'm just giving you a hard time. No, I think Evan's a really competitive guy. I think that he rises up, and like I said, in tough situations, and that's what you want. You want guys to be competitive. You want good athletes. Let's face it, a lot of these guys are soccer players. They grew up being soccer players. But I think Evan has enough competitiveness to him. Like I said, the pro day at Florida, he had an exceptional day. There were 5 or 6 different special teams coaches there watching him. And we put him in some tough spots, and I thought he really did well there. Never blinked. I put him through a couple different things to try to break his concentration, and it never fazed him at all. And so, like I said, I'm hopeful that's what we'll get on Sundays.
One last question.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Expectation.
go ahead,
Is your
Marty.
expectation for a kicker's ability to hit from 50 plus dramatically changed over the years, Darrin, and how significant is that in the selection of Evan?
I think it is a big factor, Dan. I think it's a really big deal. It used to be. I can remember days back at the combine when we would finish up hitting field goals from 50 yards, and they got 3 attempts. And if excuse me, and if they could make one of the 3, you felt pretty damn good. That, man, this guy's strong. I mean, now these guys are hitting over the top of the uprights from 50 yards, and so 50 yards is really like the old 40. And I do believe he did not. He had as long as a freshman was 49, as long as a sophomore was over 50. Then I think he made from 55 this year. I think he missed one from 58 that I think he'll tell you was a poor hit. But he hit from over 60 at his pro day at Florida. So I believe that he has enough leg to do the things we're going to ask him to do. But it has significantly changed over time for sure.
Jeff Hobson, you want to get your last one in?
I'm sorry, Coach. You got a shot at getting a returner here. Do you think in the next? Well,
I think there's 1 or 2 left that can help us up there. One specific I got my eye on like I said, when this drafting thing comes around, there's so many things that have to fall your way, man. It's the luck of the draw in some situations like this, or in situations like with Evan. We felt the need to go up and get the guy that we wanted. And we did that, and I think it's going to bode well for us in the future.
All right, Coach, we'll let you get back to the draft room. Thanks for your time.
Got it.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you.